Well, I'm checking this, check it out. I'm just gonna make another video, basically expanding on the video I talked about yesterday. As one of my YouTube commenters, you know who you are, bro. You basically asked me about the whole, there's so many different training methods and styles out there. You know, you hear about doing higher reps, lower reps, medium reps. You know, low reps being like 4 to 6, 4 to 7, which is generally to do with strength. If you want to build your strength, that's what you usually. That's the work sets you'll be working. Okay, and then you got the more the most common middle of the road rep ranges between 8 and 12 or 8 and 10. People call that the hypertrophy range. Hypertrophy means to build as much muscle as possible. And then you got higher reps. Higher reps usually you can build size with higher reps, but higher reps is more, you know, that's more to get. That's more to increase your work capacity, your cardio. You know, that's more for that. You know what I mean? So, you know, so doing higher reps. If you want to be an all-rounder kind of athlete, so you're not really a master of one thing, doing high reps with weights and body weight exercises will benefit you, you know. But for the most part, people are not building a lot of size and strength doing high reps, okay? And that's where people go wrong again. Especially in the fitness industry, with the load of misinformation that gets spread, you know, especially for women. They tell women to do higher reps and shit. Nah, bro. Why would a woman need to do higher reps to build muscle? No, if a woman wants to build muscle, she should be doing it in the most common rep range, which is designed to build muscle, which is between 8 and 12, or even 8 and 14 even. Just to pick out a number. I can understand, like, for people who don't really know, who are just getting into the scene, it's confusing as fuck. It really is. But I'm not trying. But basically, put it this way: if your goal is to build as much strength as possible, right, and you don't necessarily care about size or aesthetics, looking a certain way kind of thing, then yeah, doing them 4 to 6 rep ranges, you will build a lot of strength from that. Now, does strength necessarily equate to size? No, not necessarily. Now you can say, well, that's bullshit, because look at all these powerlifters and these strongman athletes, right? They're big as fuck, which they are. I know that because I've worked with world level and European level powerlifters. I've done that. My ex was a European European powerlifter. She won a few records, titles, whatever. So I know, and so it doesn't necessarily equate to size. Because the thing is, with when you're working for strength, right? When you're doing strength-based exercises, it's all about getting the weight from A to B as efficiently and as quickly as possible, right? Now, obviously, muscles will be recruited, but guess what? There'll be a lot of other muscle groups recruited as well on top of that. So, like, yes, okay, for example, let's talk about the squat. You want to move the weight from A to B as quickly as possible, right, on the squat. You know, just from A to B. Let's get it down, let's get it up, right? Now, you're going to be using as much, you don't care how many other stabilizers or any other body parts, muscle groups come into play. You don't really care about that as long as that weight is moving to A to B and you're getting to where you're going to get to. Okay? Now, again, let's talk about the guys who do the powerlifting exercises. You do the low reps, all right? There's a lot of big guys who do that, all right? Now, some of these people are genetic outliers, right? So they don't count with what I'm talking about. But what are genetic outliers? People, the exception to the rule, okay? Because there's I know a lot of strength athletes, right? Who've been training for years, who are very good at what they do, strong as fuck. A lot of them are probably, some of them look half the size of me, and they're moving way more weight than I can move, right? And you look at them and think, hang on a minute, how are you moving that amount of weight? Because, like, again, it's partly down to genetics as well. And you know, size, strength doesn't always equate to size. It does not. So one could try, if you really, if you want to be as strong as possible and move some good ass weight. And mate, listen, being strong as a man is imperative. That's very important. That's what a man should be. He should be strong, and that's great. That's good. So if you want to try that for a few years and see how your body looks after that, and if you've built up enough strength and you look good and you put on some good size and that, then clearly that works for you. You know what I mean? That's cool. But let's say you don't. Let's say you haven't really built that much muscle mass, but you can move a hell of a lot of weight. And then guess what? You're gonna have to start switching over to more hypertrophy range exercises. Now, what are they? Like I mentioned before, they're gonna be the higher rep ranges. Now, higher is in like what? We're talking like over 7 reps. So we're talking. Let's break it down to, let's just say between 7 and 14. Let's just do it like that, okay? Or we can just break it down to like 8 to 10, whatever number kind of suits you. But let's just call it 8 to 10 or 8 to 12, because that's usually the most common thing. You have to start doing 8 to 12 rep ranges, okay? Now, what's the difference with that? Are we still trying to move the weight from A to B as quick as possible? No. We are concentrating on each and every rep, right? We are moving the weight, right? And not necessarily to lock out, because when you're doing powerlifting exercises, you have to get the lockout. Now with bodybuilding, like more bodybuilding orientated rep ranges, you don't necessarily have to lock out. You go as far as possible. On the eccentric on the way down, on the concentric on the way up. You go as far down as possible and as high as possible to the point where you feel all the tension on the muscle. As soon as you feel the tension come off that muscle, then that's where you stop. That's your, if you start all the way back down there, and you only go and you get to like the 3/4 range of, let's say, the bench press before lockout. You get to about 3/4 before lockout, and the tension goes there, then stop. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to feel the muscle contracting on the way up, on the way down, constant tension, okay, on the muscle. That's what you're looking to do. You don't have to do, go ball, you don't have to be doing all these fast-paced reps and shit. Yeah, I don't care if you see other people do that who are massive. Again, they are the genetic outliers, so we don't need to watch what they're doing. necessarily. We don't need to, because genetic outliers can pretty much do anything and grow, right? I know like I said, I've been in this bodybuilding game a lot. I know genetic outliers. I've seen them, and I know genetic outliers personally. I've got genetic outliers in my family. Okay, so I know all about that. So we're talking about the norm, not the exception to the norm, exception to the rule. Okay, they just don't count in anything what I'm talking about, but I will talk about them for the sake of talking about them. So that being said, so it's all about constant tension on the muscle. Okay, and we got to do enough reps to fatigue the muscle on each rep. Okay, so let's say compare it to let's say a powerlifter's doing, I don't know, 8 sets of bench. They'll do a couple of warm-up sets, and they'll probably do, let's say they do 8 working sets, right? Again, their rep range is going to be anywhere from 2 to 6. So they're not doing a lot of volume, are they? Now, let's say we do 8 reps for bodybuilding, and we're doing 12 reps with constant tension. We're gonna get a higher. We're gonna fatigue the muscle more. We're gonna fatigue the muscle way more so than we would do at a lower rep. Plus the fact that we're doing constant tension, we're keeping the tension on the muscle is the key here. Okay, is the key. Because trust me, whether you're, I don't care, most bodybuilders, bro, whether they're professionals, amateurs, or just the average gym goer, most of them are doing 8 to 12 rep ranges, because that's what's going to build the most amount of muscle in the most efficient time. Okay, and this doesn't matter whether you're on drugs or no drugs, whether you're natural or not. Okay, it doesn't matter. The rep ranges are pretty, the rep ranges don't differ. Okay, so again, rep ranges, we have to keep in 8 to 12 ideally. Like, it's not black and white. Let's say you're feeling good, and you got about, you've done about 4 sets of bench press, and you got about 9 to 10 on each one. And then let's say, your last set of the bench press, you only got 7 or even 6. It's not a big deal at all. It's not a big deal, because by then, your muscles pretty much fully fatigued, and you've put the work in. So it's not like, oh well, shit, I've done 6 reps on this, so boo-hoo, or let's say you're feeling good one day. Sometimes your strength might be up, just depends on the day. It depends on your sleep, you eating, your sleep, your sleep, outside triggers, all types of things. But let's say everything's on point, and you go in there and you do let's say there's a weight like what you normally can do comfortably at about 10 reps. Let's say you went in there and you banged out fucking 14 reps. Great. That's not going to hinder what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about, that's why you should do a thing called feel reps. That's what we call it, feel reps. Okay, it's kind of like warm-up sets in a way, but feel sets is basically you feeling where your body is at. Okay, so obviously you're gonna do your warm-up set. So example, let's say you warm with the bar. Okay, I'm just using the chest press as an example, it's just easier. So let's say you do a warm-up with the bar. Let's say you do about 15 reps with the bar, maybe 20. Then you put on a 10 kilo each side. You do about 15 of them. Then you put a 20 kilo aside. Okay, this is this is just all for example. What the numbers what I'm using, well, the weight wise anyway. Let's say you put 20 kilo at each side of the bar, and you get about you do about 10 reps. At that point, I think the first 3 will be the warm-up sets, the first 3. You gotta warm the muscle, right? So after the third warm-up set, yeah, then we're gonna go into the field set. The field set now is, now we're gonna, let's say you can normally do 2 plates aside, okay? This is more easier to explain, okay? So let's start again. So you normally can do 2 plates aside for about 10 reps, okay? So let's say, so you're gonna do the warm-up. The warm-up, okay, warm-up with the bar, 20 reps. Put 10 kilo aside, 15 reps. 20 kilo aside, 10 reps. Again, you don't wanna exhaust yourself in a warm-up sense. It's all about, you know, getting the body used to the motion, you know, whatever. You know, getting your mind muscle, getting the mind connected with what you're trying to do. Now you're gonna move on to the field set. Now, what would I use for the field set? The field set, I'll probably put on. I might just put on another 5 kilo aside. So we got the 20 plate and the 5 kilo aside, okay? Now, I'm probably gonna do about, again, I don't really want to exhaust myself too much, so I'll probably do about 10 reps of that, just to see how I feel. Now, if I'm feeling good, I might not do another field set, because the field set's usually only 1 or 2 sets, really. So if I put that on and I can feel the weight and the weight feels how it should, like I'm not feeling weak or tired, then boom, then I'll go into my working sets. So then the working set, I won't go straight into the 2 plates aside, don't get me wrong, I won't do that. I'll then put on like a 15, so you got the 20 plate aside, then I'll put on the 15 aside, another 15 each side, okay? So I'm pretty much nearly at my fully working weight. Again, I'll do about 8 to 10 of them, see how I feel. Now you're into your working sets, okay? So that's pretty much breaking it down, how you should go about your warm-ups and your field sets, okay? As for high reps have definitely got a place. Again, I think high reps are essential. They're also good for taking the stress off the body, you know, because you can't keep going moderately heavy. You know, if you're doing 8 to 12 rep ranges, that's moderately heavy. Or if you do powerlifting, it's like rep range 4 to 6, that's heavy. So you don't want to keep doing heavy shit all the time. So it's good to back off. So you can do like, if you want to do like 20 rep sets on your exercises, that's great. Usually if you're doing 20 rep exercises, you're gonna decrease the weight by at least 50%, okay? And then rip it out. Again, that's gonna be really good for your cardiovascular strength, your cardiovascular system, and it helps build up. If you're working, you know, if you're building up your work capacity with the higher reps, it's gonna carry over to when you're doing your normal rep ranges. It's gonna carry over to that because you're building some good work capacity up with the higher reps, okay? And also, that's where standard cardio comes into play as well. You gotta do cardio. I know a lot of people who don't do cardio. I don't know why they don't do it. I think it's essential. I'm not doing cardio to you know, it depends on your goals, obviously, innit? For me, cardio helps for my fitness, and it also helps to keep my weight in check as well, okay? But let's say your weight is an issue, it's good to do cardio anyway, because again, cardio builds up your work capacity in all matters of life. Forget about the gym, outside the gym, you know, walking about, whatever, in the bedroom. Come on, you need stamina in the bedroom, don't you? Yeah, you need stamina. You need stamina to fucking bust up that pussy. You get what I'm saying? You need stamina for all of that. So, and trust me, I've had a difference, bro. Because I've been through periods where, well, actually lately I should say, obviously I've been going through a lot of shit for the last few months, and I've actually just been getting into a gym routine over the last 2 weeks, and it took me about 3 months. That's a long time for me. So where I wasn't really doing anything, I wasn't really doing no cardio, wasn't doing no weight training, and I could feel that. I could feel it. Like when it come down to fucking, when it come down to fucking, bro, I'm like, I'm getting out of breath here, man. Like this is the first for me, bro. I've always been doing cardio at the gym for years, bro. I've always done it. Apart from sometimes I might be lazy, I might not do it, you know. But I'm always doing it about 3 times a week at least. So I could feel the difference, bro. I'm thinking, fucking hell, bro. Like, I'm hanging here. Heart's beating out my chest. I felt like I'm gonna fucking die. Because my work capacity was right there. I didn't do my cardio. So cardio works wonders in all aspects. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, to conclude this video, if your main goal is strength, okay, if your main goal is strength, do work sets between 4 and 6, okay, or even, you know, 3 and 6, whatever. If your main, because I'm not trying to say you won't get strong doing moderately heavy reps between 8 and 12. You will get strength, believe you me, you will. So if you want to get size and strength, right? Obviously not as much strength as if he's doing low reps all the time. But if you want to get size and strength, rep ranges are good between. We're gonna give you a little broader spectrum between 7 and 14, or 7 and 12, you know. But obviously we're gonna simplify it. So let's say 7 to 10, man. Whatever. So this is what I mean. Like, even I'm talking about it now, I'm, you know, I'm making it difficult for myself. But let's just round it to a nice number. 8 to 12 reps if you want size and strength. Okay. Again, you gotta follow the right form and technique when you want to do that as well. It's not about moving the weight from A to B. You gotta concentrate on the weight. You gotta squeeze. You gotta get the contraction. You gotta, you know, all that good stuff. And obviously, if your main goal is to, you know, build a good work capacity, you know, build up work capacity, just like kind of general fitness with a bit of muscle size, then high reps is your friend. Now, what is high reps? High reps is anywhere between 15 and 20. Or if you know, or even 15 and 25 even, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I might make some more videos on these subjects anyway, just breaking down bits and bobs as I feel, you know, just breaking down certain different things, you know. So with that, I'm gonna finish the video with that, and I'm out.